Factions built Minecraft multiplayer. Now it's almost gone. The game mode that started it all has been dying for 10 years. But a new server called ZyphiaPvP is trying to change everything. Can they succeed? Or is it already too late for Minecraft's oldest game mode? Let's find out. But first, we need to talk about factions and why this is so important. The story of factions starts all the way back in 2011. Minecraft multiplayer was still new, but it was growing fast. Amazing builds, custom plugins, shops, abilities, players had everything they needed to build the perfect Minecraft server. That's what Factions was. When a network called MassiveCraft launched the first faction server in 2011, a medieval roleplay world where you could build an empire and go to war with your enemies, it changed the course of Minecraft history. The game spread like wildfire. Legendary Craft took the reins just months later and skyrocketed to the top as the first big Minecraft network with thousands of players. Soon, Factions was inspiring new game modes like survival games and prison, and the rest is history. But while Factions used to be the king of Minecraft multiplayer, their crown has fallen. Out of the millions of Minecraft servers still running today, only a handful even have factions, and most of them are nothing but a barren wasteland, waiting on new players that never come. So what happened? Well, a lot happened, but that shift changed Minecraft forever. Let's fast forward to 2014. By this point, factions had been around for a few years, and the game itself had evolved. It was less like an RPG and more like a game of Rust with your buddies, killing noobs, gathering loot, raiding bases, all that good stuff. But 2014 was a huge turning point for Minecraft. Around that time, a lot of new servers entered the fray that weren't looking at Minecraft as a game, but a business. That started with minigame servers like Hypixel and Mineplex, and we already know that they succeeded. But Factions was close behind them, with networks like PsychoPvP, CosmicPvP, and the Archon entering the fold, all backed by some of the biggest names in Minecraft at the time. Now, when these servers came out, they were incredible. I know because I was there, and I saw how these servers changed the game with headhunting, custom enchants, masks, and more. But along with all that innovation came monetization. Crate keys, boosters, paid kits, the list goes on. And eventually, it started to change the way that Factions was played. It was no longer the fun, fast-paced raid or be raided it once was. Instead, you'd buy a $200 rank, gamble some crate keys, buy alts for power, and spend the next month AFKing spawners and spamming wall buckets that you also paid for. It ruined the game mode. And not only that, but a lot of these servers were so focused on the money that they forgot to add anything new to the game itself. By 2018, playing Factions just wasn't fun. And a few years later, it was practically impossible without emptying out your wallet. Today, in 2025, Factions is all but dead, with only a few pay-to-win servers hanging on for dear life as the game mode withers away around them. But there's still just a glimmer of hope. A brand new server that aims to breathe some life into Factions and change Minecraft for the better. Let's talk about ZyphiaPvP. Okay, quick pause. ZyphiaPvP did sponsor this video, but I promise no sugarcoating. If something sucks, I'll say it proudly. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk. ZyphiaPvP is the new kid on the block, and you've probably never heard of them. But their qualifications are crazy. The owners have been in the faction scene since 2012 and worked with some of the biggest servers to ever do it. They've seen the good and the bad, and Zyphia is using that to make the perfect faction server. They even managed to make crate keys that don't suck, believe it or not, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let me show you how it all works. The whole game revolves around your factions core. When you create a faction, you get this block and you place it down to claim your territory, but click on it and you'll see a lot more you can do. First off, your core tier. Most servers have you claim land with power, aka how many alts you can fit in your faction. Zyphia is different. You want more land, you upgrade your core. No alts, no nonsense. You can also level up your faction progression for better spawners, but you're not just paying with money like most servers, you're using XP. So instead of spending your first month AFK at a cactus farm, you're raiding on day 1. Oh, and by the way, Zyphia lets you cannon through water, albeit slowly, so no more 3-hour cannon builds. And to make that even easier, your faction's core comes with a TNT bank. That's right, free TNT, and the more you upgrade it, the more you get. Now your faction core doesn't just store TNT, It also stores your money, your mob heads, and your raid loot. Your money's right here in the faction's bank, and this is the only place you can store money. No more hoarding or hiding value on alts, you can take a fat chunk of any faction's money if you manage to raid them. Mob heads are good for XP, but you can also craft special masks that give you power-ups for farming, fighting, raiding, and more. The coolest part is this here, the Spoils of War, where your raiding loot is stored. This is where you'd claim your money and XP, but there's also something here called a decrypted key, and this is what sets ZyphiaPvP apart from every other faction server. When you hear the words crate key, you think of gambling $20 for some Minecraft loot, and on every other server, you'd be right. But not here. Open up the ZyphiaPvP web store and there's no keys to be found, only cosmetics, a battle pass, and ranks. Ranks are the only ways to get keys, but you might say, big deal, you still have to pay for them. Well, see this right here? This is the key decryptor, and after a few hours, it converts that key into some crazy loot. The catch? It sounds the alarm for everyone online to come and steal that key. That's what makes Zyphia so different. They thought of everything and balanced the game perfectly. It's a true free-for-all, not the factions you're used to where the same 3 teams win every season because they have the money, alts, and time that you don't. For the first time in years, Factions is fun again, and I genuinely cannot wait to see it. But, as promised, I'm being completely honest with my review here, and ZyphiaPvP isn't perfect. No server is, and while I think they're absolutely crushing it with a lot of these new mechanics, I do have some concerns. Let's start with this, the Factions Shield. Believe it or not, some people have lives outside of Minecraft, so this gives you a 20-hour period of invincibility every day while you're asleep, at school, working, whatever. In theory, it's a great idea, but catching your enemies off guard is half the fun of raids, and that's going to be a lot harder when they're invincible. Plus, I have no doubt that people will try to abuse this by logging off the moment they see trouble, and now you've just wasted 40 minutes building a cannon you can't even use. It's not a huge deal since most big factions will have someone online 24/7, but just a thought. And then there's the solo experience. My Minecraft journey started 10 years ago on Pocket Edition, and Factions is a lot different there. Hidden vaults, daily raids, a duel around every corner. But on Java Edition, with all the huge factions, bases, and cannons, life as a solo is unbearable. And Zyphia doesn't totally fix that. It's a lot more balanced, but your base is still public and your loot's still in there. If a team shows up to raid you, you're done. But they're listening. I talked to the owners and they're trying to fix that. Now there's bonuses for raiding bigger teams, so people don't just target the little guy. It's a huge step in the right direction, and they're only getting better. There's so much more to talk about, but that will have to wait. What matters is that ZyphiaPvP is one of the most promising servers I've ever seen. The alpha opens up August 15th, and if you want in, they're giving away free access on Twitter right now. It's time to bring Factions back to life. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Peace, peace.